When life feels heavy, let it be heavy. Sometimes life feels heavy, not in a dramatic way, not in a way you can easily explain, just heavy enough to slow you down, heavy enough to make simple things feel harder than usual. And when that happens, many of us immediately try to fix it. We look for productivity, for motivation, for answers, for something that will make the heaviness disappear. But what if heaviness isn't something that needs to be solved? What if it's something that needs to be allowed? We are taught to resist discomfort, to push through, to stay positive, to keep going. But emotions don't work that way. The more you resist them, the louder they become. Heaviness is often a signal. Not that something is wrong with you, but that something inside you is asking to be acknowledged. Sometimes it's grief you haven't named yet. Sometimes it's exhaustion you've been ignoring. Sometimes it's change happening quietly beneath the surface. And sometimes it's simply the weight of being human in a demanding world. You don't need to turn heaviness into productivity. You don't need to transform it into a lesson immediately. You don't need to rush your way out of it. You are allowed to let it be heavy. There is a kind of peace that comes from stopping the internal fight, from saying, this feels hard right now, without adding judgment, without trying to escape. Letting something be heavy doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're being honest. Honesty creates space, and space allows things to move naturally in their own time. When you stop forcing yourself to feel better, you often begin to feel lighter. Not because the heaviness disappears, but because you're no longer carrying resistance on top of it. There is a difference between pain and suffering. Pain is unavoidable. Suffering is what happens when we tell ourselves we shouldn't feel what we feel. You don't need to minimize your experience because others have it worse. Your feelings don't require comparison to be valid. Heaviness doesn't mean you're ungrateful. It doesn't mean you're weak, and it doesn't mean you're failing. It means something inside you needs care. Sometimes care looks like rest. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like crying without explanation. Sometimes it looks like doing absolutely nothing. You don't have to make meaning out of everything immediately. Some experiences ask to be felt before they can be understood. If your energy is low, let it be low. If your motivation is quiet, let it rest. If your emotions are tangled, let them be tangled. You are not behind because you're moving slowly. You're responding to where you are. The world will always ask for more output, more certainty, more speed. But your nervous system operates on a different rhythm. Slowing down is not avoidance, it's regulation. And regulation is what allows you to move forward without breaking yourself in the process. There is no timeline for emotional processing, no deadline for healing, no correct way to carry what you're carrying. You don't need to be inspiring while you're struggling. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to make your pain productive. You are allowed to exist quietly until things feel clearer, and clarity will come, not because you forced it, but because you gave yourself space to breathe. If today feels heavy, let it be heavy. Sit with it gently, without pressure, without expectations. You are not meant to carry everything alone, and you are not meant to carry it all at once. Some days are for moving forward, some days are for standing still, and some days are simply for surviving with kindness. All of those days count. Thank you for staying here. Thank you for allowing this moment to be exactly what it is. If you'd like more long-form reflections like this, please subscribe.